Intermittent fasting has gained significant attention in recent years as a potential strategy to improve health, cognition, and longevity. But what if I told you that you don't actually need to fast for that long to get the benefits? Hey, welcome to Wellness Academy. In this video, I'm going to talk about the pioneering research on intermittent fasting conducted by Dr. Sachin Panda, a professor and director of the Regulatory Biology Laboratory at the Salk Institute of Biological Studies. I'll walk you through the recent clinical trials that have investigated the effects of time-restricted feeding or intermittent fasting on different populations, and the most effective strategies for incorporating intermittent fasting into your daily life. Let's get started. We always need to start by clarifying this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Please do your own research and always consult with your physician before starting any protocols. What is fasting and time-restricted eating? With all the confusing and contradictory advice on fasting in the news, it's important to cut through the noise and get to the facts. Many news outlets are focused on getting clicks and attention rather than equipping you with the information you need to make an informed decision. Let's start by clarifying the terminology. Simply put, fasting is the practice of abstaining from food and/or drinks for an extended period of time. However, what we're really interested in is what Dr. Sachin Panda defines as the extended fasted state, achieved through restricting eating to specific hours each day, also known as intermittent fasting. A common question is, what actually counts as a fast? Well, technically, every time we go to sleep, we're already fasting as we naturally abstain from consuming calories during that time. So a more appropriate term for the practice of intermittent fasting is time-restricted eating, where you deliberately control the period of time when you ingest food or caloric beverages and confine it to a consistent window of time, typically ranging from 2 to 12 hours. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions is, when should I break my fast? How long should my eating window be? Is 6, 8, 10 hours okay? Optimal fasting times. Dr. Sachin Panda's laboratory at the Salk Institute of Biological Studies has conducted groundbreaking research on how patterns of eating, specifically intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding, impact biology and health. We've included links to the studies in the description. We know that the goal is to train our bodies to live without food for several hours. The initial experiments were conducted with an 8-hour feeding window and a 16-hour fasting window, which is why this approach became popular and is often referred to as intermittent fasting on the internet. However, it's important to note that this may not be the only or optimal protocol. To provide you with actionable information, we will cover the following aspects. Number 1, consistency. Does it matter if I eat at different times on different days? Number 2, feeding window. What are the benefits of different eating windows? Number 3, start of the window. When should I break my fast? Number 4, end of the window. When should I stop eating? For now, we'll focus on these aspects and leave aside topics such as total caloric intake, macronutrients, plant-based versus meat-based diets, keto, etc., as those are broad topics that deserve separate discussions. Let's start with number 1, consistency. When it comes to fasting, it's important to ensure that your feeding window begins and ends at more or less the same time every day. This is because inconsistency in your eating schedule can disrupt your body's internal clock, leading to something called metabolic jet lag. Your body has an internal timetable known as the circadian rhythm, or internal clock, which regulates the molecular aspects of each cell and organ in your body. For example, various processes in your body, such as saliva production, secretion of digestive juices, and liver metabolism, are timed to occur at specific times based on your circadian clock. When you eat at different times, your body's internal clock may not be prepared to digest the food, leading to a disruption in these processes. To get the best results from fasting, it's important to be consistent with your eating schedule and take advantage of the anticipatory activity of your body's internal clock in different systems. So, if you choose to eat from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., try to keep it between the same time every day to maintain consistency and optimize the benefits of fasting. Number 2, feeding window. Findings from a study published in 2015 titled Effects of Intermittent Fasting on Health, Aging, and Disease showed that a 10-hour eating window where all meals are consumed within a 10-hour period and followed by a 14-hour fasting period can have numerous benefits. This eating window has been associated with improved metabolic health, including better glucose control, reduced insulin resistance, and lower cholesterol levels. It may also promote weight loss, as it can lead to a decrease in overall calorie intake by limiting the time available for eating. If you're fasting for longer than 14 hours, that's great. You might be enjoying even more of the benefits from fasting. However, the majority of adults tend to eat within a feeding window of 15 hours or longer, with only around 10% of people consuming all their meals within a 12-hour window. This means that a significant proportion of the population may not be reaping the potential benefits of a shorter eating window. If you find yourself among the 90% of adults eating in a feeding window longer than 12 hours, it may be worth considering modifying your eating habits to enjoy the potential benefits of a shorter feeding window. Based on the conclusions of the study, adopting a maximum 10-hour eating window can yield significant benefits in terms of weight management and longevity. Quote from the study: "This is a unique study of TRE, time-restricted eating, in humans who have metabolic syndrome. The high level of adherence to TRE in our study, no reported adverse effects, and low dropout rate suggests that a self-selected 10H window for TRE may be feasible for patients with metabolic syndrome to adhere to over a longer period of time." This study has demonstrated that a 10H TRE intervention over 12 weeks, without an overt attempt to change physical activity or diet quality or quantity, can serve as a novel treatment for individuals with metabolic syndrome. Okay, next, number 3, the start of the eating window. The timing of the start of your eating window can also play a role in optimizing the benefits of time-restricted eating. Ideally, you should aim to start your eating window when your insulin sensitivity is at its best, which is typically in the morning around 8 a.m. However, this may vary for different individuals. Some people may find that their insulin sensitivity is better later in the day. This is something that you may need to experiment with to determine what works best for you. One simple experiment you can try is to have a glass of juice in the morning and measure your glucose response using an at-home glucose monitor. Then, do the same experiment at noon and compare the results. This can help you gather accurate data on how your body responds to different timings of your eating window and guide you in finding the optimal start time for your intermittent fasting routine. And number 4, the end of the eating window. The timing of the end of your feeding window is also an important factor to consider in optimizing the benefits of time-restricted eating. Your circadian rhythm, which regulates various physiological processes in your body, including your sleep-wake cycle, also plays a role in determining the optimal end time of your eating window. When melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep, starts to rise in the evening, your body recognizes it as a signal that it's time to sleep. At this point, your body naturally slows down insulin production, as it's not needed during sleep. If you consume a large meal when your body's insulin production is reduced, it can result in higher levels of glucose staying in your bloodstream for a longer duration. This is particularly relevant for those who consume meals late into the night, as it may interfere with the glucose control and impact the benefits of time-restricted eating. Therefore, it's important to be mindful of the timing of your last meal of the day and avoid consuming large meals close to bedtime, as it may negatively affect the effectiveness of your time-restricted eating routine in terms of glucose control. Remember, we want to empower you to make informed decisions when it comes to your health and provide practical advice on optimizing your time-restricted eating routine. Based on the research, here are the key takeaways you can implement right now. Consistency. Does it matter if I eat at different times on different days? Yes, it matters. Keep your eating times consistent to avoid metabolic jet lag. Feeding window. Is there an optimal eating window? Yes, research suggests that an eating window of 10 hours or less is ideal for optimal benefits. Start of the window. When should I break my fast? Depends on when your insulin sensitivity is at its best. Probably sometime mid-morning. The best way to know is by testing your insulin levels. End of the window. When should I stop eating? As far from your bedtime as possible, as melatonin production interferes with glucose control, which may result in prolonged high blood glucose levels. So a typical protocol might involve having a non-caloric beverage in the morning upon waking up, like a black coffee or a tea. Breaking your fast around 9 a.m. if you wake up at 6 a.m. and finishing your dinner by 7 p.m. This allows for about 3 hours of digestion before bedtime, optimizing the benefits of time-restricted eating. We hope this video has raised your awareness about the importance of timing in practicing time-restricted eating and encourages you to experiment with different timings to find what works best for your body. If you found this information valuable, please show your support by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Remember, consistency, a suitable feeding window, and mindful timing of the start and end of your eating window can contribute to maximizing the benefits of time-restricted eating for your overall health and well-being. Here's the next video you need to watch to learn more about other things that promote metabolic health.